So today we're going to talk about John and MJ. Their wedding was a $7,000 wedding, 90 guests, 7 months to plan, and the wedding was in North Carolina. When you look at these photos, you can totally feel the relaxed nature of that day, enjoying the moment, whether playing games, eating, or laughing. They really wanted to spend time connecting with family and friends, so much so that they actually made a whole week of this. They had picnics, hiking, shopping, a lot of things happening, all culminating in the wedding. Because people were important to them, the venue and food were key choices. They found a venue that accommodated their needs, and they splurged on the food. Let's take a look at their budget breakdown and you will see what I mean. Their food was $37.50, their venue $2,000, photographer $650, decorations $375, attire $200, and invitations $10. We're going to look at these in reverse order and learn some things. The invitations, yes, seriously $10. They printed up just a couple invites for the grandparents, but the rest came by email or text. The attire, the bride actually was able to borrow a dress and had just a few alterations. And the groom, he had shirt, pants, tie, which just suited him fine. The decorations were DIY by an aunt. Then they spent one evening when they were all together putting things together. They had 3 hours of photography for $650. Most photographers will not give you less than 4 hours, and $650 is a really good price for those 3 hours. They also didn't build their wedding around the photos. And I think that's something I want to talk about for a minute. Lots of times weddings are built around a photo list. We want these photos, and so the day's going to go like this because I want those photos. And if that's you, that's you. But if it's not you, it changes up who you can hire and what you can do with a photographer. Okay, I want to point out a couple things before we go on to the venue and food. They were able to keep several of the really high expense items, the decor, the clothing, and the photographer to a bare minimum. And by doing that, they opened up their budget to where they could splurge. I think sometimes we think in our heads that if I'm on a tight budget, that means everything has to be tight. And that's not true. If you can zero out, as I call it, if you can get some of those things down to just a few $100s, you really have room to splurge in some others. Now I say that, but if your budget is like $3,000, you don't really have room to splurge on a lot of big items, but maybe you can splurge on your bouquet, or you could splurge on your veil, or you could splurge on something small. It's okay to splurge in an area even if you have a budget. So let's look at the venue. It was a traditional wedding venue that they used on a Wednesday, so they got it at 50% off. Venues run from $4,000 to who knows how much money. And depending on what you're going to get from that, it's kind of how the prices range. But there are a lot of venues out there that run around $4,000. And if you then use them midweek or off season, your price is $2,000, $3,000 maybe. So the food, obviously the big splurge. What's really interesting about this is I have never seen a wedding where they spent half their budget on food, but there were a lot of reasons for it. It was a breakfast brunch, and they had a cinnamon roll buffet for dessert. They didn't cut a cake, they cut a big cinnamon roll. So that was kind of fun for them. The wedding was near the college where MJ and John go to school, but all their support lived far away. So as they're all coming, they did not want to spend that week that they were spending time together preparing food. By spending a lot of money on the food, it gave them freedom for the rest of the week, but it also then gave them some really good food. Let's change this up and assume a couple of other things. Let's change her dress from $200 to $800 and the photography from $650 to $1,200. Both of those are still in the lower range, but more what most people can find. That still left them $2,600 for the food. So you can see that this budget really could have moved different ways. My last thought when you look at John and MJ is the things that don't matter do not matter. I'm going to repeat that. The things that don't matter do not matter. Don't elevate, stress, or spend money on things that do not matter to you. As always, enjoy your day and see us on our website at bridalyourway.com.